As human beings, we don't like it when someone says but. I'm talking about B-U-T, not B-U-T-T, which is an entirely different thing. But when you say but to someone, you have now deleted pretty well everything that has gone on before it. If someone says, what do you think of my new house? And you say, well, it's really beautiful and everything, and the surroundings are really nice, but, and now they, oh, here we go. And in effect, you have deleted all that's gone before, and now they're waiting for the bad news. But is a tricky word in conversations. It can get people's back up. A string sentence is a very cool method of circumventing this, doing an end run around but still saying exactly what you want to say. And what we do is we get rid of but. That says but. And even more so now. Never try to write on an angle with your right hand when you can't see what you're doing. So we're going to X out but because we don't want that. What we want is and instead, which is much more readable because I've had practice now. And is a better word because and does not invalidate anything that has gone in front of it. So if you say to someone, da 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 da, but XXXY, it deletes what's gone before as seeming irrelevant or unimportant now, or wiped out completely. If you say ABC, da 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 da, and da da da, it builds upon what you have previously said and offers no conflict to the person. I trained all kinds of police in using this since I learned the same thing from another police trainer. It's a very, very useful tool because what they use this for in police work is the very same conversational power you can apply in your daily life. For example, they arrive on the scene of a trailer park and some guy's wearing a wife beater shirt, he's got a hammer in his hand and he's going nuts, to use the medical term. He says, I hate my brother, I'm gonna kill that sumbitch, I hate him. Now before, the police would say, get down, overreact to all this. But instead now, they use a string sentence. They validate everything he has said up to this point and then use and to lead him in a totally different direction. So instead of saying anything that's but or deleting anything he has said, they go, I understand, sir, you hate your brother and you want to kill him. Now realize, for the police to say they understand he wants to do this, they are in no way agreeing with what he said. Agreement and understanding are not the same thing. And we can completely understand something 100% and disagree with all of it. So when they say to the man, I understand you want to kill your brother or your brother-in-law, whatever it was, and let me just put these handcuffs on you, the man will tend to comply because everything that has gone in front of the and, which makes the string sentence here, is validated by them understanding it. Whenever you're in a tricky discussion with someone, negotiation, wishing to convince someone of something, never invalidate what they say by saying but. In fact, it's better to say that you understand it and then offer their language back. Well, I want to go and see such and such. I've always liked the Jurassic Park movies and that's what I want to go and see. And you say, I understand you want to see the Jurassic Park movies and we'll probably get around to that a bit later on. And tonight, let's go and see this other one here. Okay, people will comply with you miraculously and they won't have any idea that you are literally controlling their behavior. It's a funny thing about us as humans. When we have our viewpoints validated, we get this sense of relaxation. We sort of, somebody understands me. And you validate them by offering back in your language what they have already said. You don't have to agree with it. You're only understanding it. Remember, agreement and understanding are not the same thing. You can agree with everything and you can understand none of it. But what you're doing in this case is you're saying you understand completely. And it gives the illusion of agreement. You might completely disagree with them. So you offer your understanding of their position, you use and then lead them somewhere entirely different. The result is remarkably powerful. So, string sentences substitute and for but. They don't invalidate anything the person said. In fact, you go out of your way to validate what they say by using their exact words. If someone says, I'm really, really feeling down lately, you don't want to say to them, I understand that you're depressed. No, they didn't say that. I'm not depressed. So then that's a clinical term and you've suddenly made a medical diagnosis and they're all mad that they think you're calling them crazy or something. If the person says, I'm feeling really down in this office, I don't like it here. You say, I understand. You're feeling down, aren't you? And you don't like it here in this office. Yes, that's right. And what I suggest we do is let's move into the other room and we'll figure out how we're going to change this. Oh, okay. You have validated them by using their exact words as you do a string sentence. So remember, rule number one is you're going to stay away from but. You're going to use and instead, and you're not going to invalidate what they say. You're going to understand what they say and feed their exact words back to them. Now notice, when you feed them back, you don't even have to do it in the same order as them. If they say, I hate it in this office, I can't stand it here, no one likes me, you can say to them, I understand that you feel that no one likes you. You can't stand it here, and I think you hate it in this office, don't you? You change the order up a bit. And they go, yes. How did you know? Well, you just told me. You're not going to say that. And lead them somewhere else now with and. Let's sit down and resolve this in a way that you're going to feel so much better in just a few minutes. Remember, it's very simple. Don't use but. That invalidates what they've said. Use and instead as your turning point. It's the hinge in the sentence that you can now lead them in a completely different place. You must validate and understand what they have said in their own words, use and lead them somewhere else. The power of the string sentence.